Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League just released a current state of play showcasing what the game has to offer and the work that Rocksteady has been working on over the last couple of years. From the developers who brought us the Arkham series, it's set to release on May 26, 2023 and for next-gen consoles and PC. And unfortunately, it seems like our fears have been realized on this one, as it is now confirmed a live service game that requires an always online connection, includes microtransactions, and has a battle pass. With the release of the recent Gotham Knights, we did see hints of live service features within that game, but when it launched, although in a really buggy state and horribly optimized, it was not live service. So there was hope for Rocksteady here that they would stick to what they had know best with the Arkham series, and they would focus on a single player, or if not co-op experience, but unfortunately it looks to be live service. So the game can be played single player, but is built for 4-player co-op and is completely cross-platform for all next-gen consoles. It has microtransactions for costumes, though no loot boxes, which at least is a win in that department. It uses gear scoring for the levels and missions. So the lower your gear score, the less missions you can actually perform. And then as you go through the game, you'll unlock better weapons, perks, and modifications for your armor and inventory that then allow your gear score to go up and perform the better missions. This means, of course, that the game uses the standard loot system that we all know: legendaries, epics, commons. They all drop through gameplay, and you'll achieve them by completing missions and doing activities, which will then give you those modifications to get on the grind and get your gear level up so that you can get to the end game and do all the missions within the game and slowly go through the story. I can imagine that missions will be locked out based on this gear score that you'll slowly improve over the course of playing. Rocksteady have then also gone on to say that there's microtransactions for costumes, though they are only cosmetic, and the battle pass also includes only cosmetic upgrades. But overall, I really think that the market is just sick and tired of these live service games that keep coming out. The problem is, if they don't succeed, the developers and the publishers just give up on the game and they abandon them. Over the last couple of years, we have seen Anthem, Avengers, Rumbleverse. As of February 2023, Apex Legends Mobile, Battlefield Mobile, Crossfire X, Dragon Quest, The Adventure of Die, Echo VR, Knockout City, School Idol Festival, and Rumbleverse were all shut down just at the beginning of this year. It's seen that there can only be so many live service games in the market at one time, and consumers can't play them all either. Generally, when they're going to play a live service game, they have to invest so much time that they're only going to be playing one. And if the gameplay and story and everything isn't up to scratch, well, the consumers just aren't going to stick around. They're going to go to the next game. They're going to go back to Destiny 2 or Fortnite or whatever it is that they're playing, because they're just not going to waste their time. And generally speaking, these things just don't come up with that much content on launch. Generally, they have to add so much features in and content to just hold their player base. And the Battle Pass has to offer so many items and levels and progression to keep the player base there that they just don't last in the long term. The real shame here is that Rocksteady put out amazing Batman games. When they were developing the Arkham series, they were single player experiences that had great story, great characters, great writing, great gameplay. They offered something new with each title, and there was something, it was a complete experience. You played through the game, you finished it, you had your fun, you had your feel. It was worth what you paid. With these live service games, you generally pay full price on launch, and they try to give you all this free content, but it's never the same. Sometimes we just want a single player game. It's not that hard, developers. Not every game has to capitalize on the market and be this money pit. It also seems that through the trailer, Rocksteady have said that the single player experience just adds bots as for the other characters. And the game requires you to be online anyway, so it's not like I'm going to be playing this on my Steam Deck and then I just have to have bots fill in that I can swap between. That is not what I would call a single player experience. That is not what we're looking for. That's nothing compared to the Batman games. Looking through the gameplay that was shown, the characters also are limited because they need to play very similar so that you can drop them in and out and play different co-op sessions. All the characters basically play the same. They all use weapons and guns, even for characters that doesn't make sense, such as the Shark character, who ultimately should be like the Hulk and punching and beating up bad guys, but instead he's resorting to using a gun. What about Captain Boomerang, who now has to use an assault rifle or sniper? It just doesn't make sense. He's using a gun instead of a boomerang. It doesn't fit within the lore, and it doesn't make sense here. The characters should at least be distinct and play different if they want to offer characters like this in an ensemble. It's just not what I'm expecting. It just really was not what I was expecting, and I don't think it's what consumers were wanting either. Now, granted, the game is not out yet, so when it does launch in May, maybe it will have amazing content, the game will be fully fleshed out, and it will maintain its player base and be absolutely amazing, but I have yet to believe that that is what's going to happen with this one. It just does not look right, and coming from the team at Rocksteady, they just could have done so much better than creating another live service game in this market. When Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League comes out later in the year, I will be playing it, I'll be giving my opinion and impressions, and I really do hope that it turns out to be better than what I'm expecting. Until then, I remain skeptical.